So hopefully you all haven't missed me too much. But if you have, I thought I'd shoot this video for you just to get you up to date, and then and also clarify some confusion that you might have with the assignment that you guys worked on Tuesday while I was gone. So just a few quick announcements, and then this will actually be a two-part video. First part, I'm going to go over some announcements, and then I'll go over the things that will be on the quiz for Friday. And then the second part to this video will actually be some instruction, all right? So you guys don't get too far behind with me gone. So first things first, announcements. Reminder, like I said, you have a quiz on Friday. And so because I won't be here to help you prepare for this quiz, I've decided not to necessarily give you the quiz for a grade, but it's more of a practice quiz. So you'll take the quiz on Friday, and then when we come back, or when I come back on Monday, we'll go over together just to see what you guys do know and what you don't know. And then we'll go from there. All right? So quiz 4 is a practice quiz. I just want to let you know what's going to be on the quiz. So if you want to write this down on a piece of paper. I also will put it on the board for Friday, and it'll be up there for you to copy down as well. So here we go. The first thing that you'll see on the quiz is about Punnett squares. All right, let me just give you the list of things first, and then I will go ahead and actually walk through some things with you, all right? So Punnett squares, what should you know about Punnett squares? Should be able to do a cross, all right? So if I give you the traits or the alleles for a mom and a dad, you should be able to tell me what the probability that the offspring will look like, and we'll be doing it for one trait, all right? So we're not looking at multiple traits, just one trait for that, all right? So in a Punnett square, you need to be able to cross the alleles or the genes for both mom and dad, and we're looking at one trait at a time, all right? Second part to this is you have to be able to tell me what the genotypic ratio will be and what the phenotypic ratio will be. And I'll go over that with you just right now, how to find that, how to figure that out for review, all right? Identify the phenotype, which will be easy. And then the last part to the quiz will be analyzing and interpreting pedigree. So how do females look like on a pedigree? What symbol do males have on a pedigree? And you know, the line between the male and the female, right, shows that there's mating occurring. And then the generations on the side of a pedigree. What's the oldest generation, the youngest generation, the relationship between two individuals on a pedigree. So basically everything that we went over this Monday on that sheet where we were analyzing a pedigree, that's fair game for the quiz on Friday, all right? And then basically everything on your notes that we've taken down. So we've talked about homologous chromosomes. We've talked about what inheritance is, what ancestry is. Okay, so everything on your notes from for this unit, Unit 3, is fair game on the quiz, all right? So that's a good starting point for you to study. So let me go over a couple things with you about pedigrees as a review. So if you want, you can pause this video right here and take out a separate sheet of paper, and you can kind of write some of this stuff down as a review, all right? All right, so here we go. We have our Punnett square here, okay? So you may be given a Punnett square. You may have to draw the Punnett square out. All right, and remember, like I said, we're only looking at one trait. So it could be colorblind, it could be eye color, it could be hair color that we're looking at, hitchhiker's thumb, one trait at a time. We're not looking at multiple traits, all right? So one thing to keep in mind before I even start on the Punnett square is just remember what genotypes, what different types of genotypes exist, okay? So remember, I'm going to use H for the alleles right now, all right? So we'll use an uppercase H. Remember, uppercase letters, these are for dominant alleles. Okay, uppercase letters are for dominant alleles. Like I said, we're going to use H. We could use T's, we could use W's, Y's, whatever, all right? We're going to use H's for right now. So uppercase letters are dominant alleles. Of course, lowercase letters, right? We have our recessive alleles. All right, so just keep that in mind. Our dominant alleles and our recessive alleles. All right. So I gave you that list on Monday for some of the periods actually, and we wrote down the different genotypes. So let Let me go through that one more time with you. And this might help as a review. Alright? So if you want, you can make this list on your paper and we'll go through this together. So here's the genotype. Here's the alleles. Let me erase this for a moment. We'll come back to that. And here's what's expressed, okay? What we actually see, what's expressed. All right. So this first part here, let's talk about one type of genotype, okay? We're going to talk about first homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant. All right. If something is homozygous dominant, okay, it's dominant, so that tells us that we're going to be dealing with uppercase letters for the alleles, or to represent the alleles. Homozygous tells us that it's the same, right? So the allele type, if we're talking about H's for the genotype or for the alleles, then what we're going to see here is uppercase H and uppercase H, just like that. So that's homozygous dominant, all right? So if, let's just say for right now that uppercase H is for, I'm going to go eye color, all right? Uppercase H is going to be brown eyes. Okay? Brown eyes. Since brown eyes are a dominant eye color. All right? We're going to say lowercase h, just for right now, represents blue eyes. So this is the recessive trait. The recessive trait, all right? Dominant allele for brown eyes, the recessive allele for blue eyes, all right? So if we look at this, look back here, if we have homozygous dominant, uppercase H, or big H, okay, what is going to be expressed, or what color, what eye color is going to be expressed? All right, so it's going to be brown. So we'll see brown eyes. Brown eyes. All right? Homozygous dominant. The next one, be heterozygous. Heterozygous. Okay, notice with heterozygous, we don't put dominant and we don't put recessive, all right? Heterozygous, what is going to be expressed, right? If we're talking about heterozygous, let's look at the alleles and how they look like, all right? The alleles would look like this. You have, hetero means different, right? So you have a big H, and we'll have little h, just like that. So heterozygous, all right? In a heterozygous, an individual that's heterozygous for a certain or specific trait will always express the dominant allele. Okay, the dominant allele. So the dominant allele, all right, is what color eyes? It's brown eyes, right? So this individual who's heterozygous, okay, will express brown eyes, all right? Brown eyes. We could also say that the trait that the individual is expressing, okay, would be its phenotype. So this individual's phenotype, remember phenotype is what you see, the physical appearance. The phenotype of this individual is brown eyes. The genotype, okay, the genetic makeup, the genes that we're looking at, so we look at the alleles, okay? This individual is homozygous dominant. We can't necessarily see their genotype, but we can see the trait that they're expressing, so we can see the phenotype, okay? So this is phenotype right here, physical appearance, all right? The last one, we have homozygous dominant, heterozygous. The last one would be homozygous recessive. All right, homozygous recessive. And this would look like say little h. Homozygous means the same. Little h, little h. So this is the allele type or the genotype for homozygous recessive for eye color. So if there's no dominant allele here, okay, there's no uppercase letter here, then this tells us that the recessive trait, this is the only time that the recessive trait is expressed, is when there's no dominant allele for it. All right, so what color eyes is this individual going to express, or what's going to be the phenotype for this individual? Well, they're going to have blue eyes. Blue eyes, just like that, blue eyes. All right, so this right here should help you as well. We're going to take this information and we're going to help build our Punnett square and go through this, all right? So hopefully you've written this down. This is a good tool for you to use to study, to prepare you for the quiz on Friday, all right? So that's one part there.